right, so this international campaign has been killer, right? And we've kind of neglected it. We haven't really worked that hard on it. But if we check it out from the 2nd of April all the way up to now, the 7th, it's brought in $1,790. And if we look over here, we only spent $617.43 on it. So that's a pretty sweet net profit of $1,100. Like, I'll take that forever, you know? So what we want to do, of course, is we want to keep the momentum going. We want to keep the dream alive. So first of all, let's have a look at this guy, right? So we expanded it. We scaled it up to some bigger budgets. I'm just going to click it. I don't know why it says 2 campaigns selected. Got to watch them. There, I'll click it again. Ad sets for this one campaign. We got all these campaigns that we set for, what did we put it, $6 a day, and they're like just running and they're doing pretty good. So what I'm going to do is, well, it's already sorted, awesome. So sort by results. This is pretty sweet. I'm also going to come over here and I'm going to say ad set delivery is active, so I can just see all the ones that are still left on. And of course, oh yeah, it did it, awesome. All right, and so now we've got some that we just need to turn off that didn't quite perform, right? So we got Hootsuite, Lewis Howes, my man Mike Dillard, my man Big Buddy, SEM, and then Little Bear, Ryan Dice, that's how he prefers to be addressed, and online advertising, which is weird, right? You would think those audiences would have done better for us, but they didn't. How dare they? So let's see, should we turn them off? Actually, let's double check here. Average cart value is $38 and is costing, and these guys, $32 max. You know what, I'm going to leave them on because I would rather have the profit, right? Who cares? So I'm just going to turn off these guys that are not converting. So that's thing number 1 that we're going to do. Okay, so I'll go ahead and I'll turn those off. Sorry, guys, and I'll publish that. So that's thing number 1. And now I'm going to do a triple maneuver right now. Okay, we're going to do 3 things. We're going to go nuts over here because we are wild. Okay, that's just how we roll. First thing we're going to do, I'm going to come up on, all right, and I'm going to duplicate this campaign, and I'm just going to make it CBO, just like we did earlier. And so what that's going to make happen is the Facebook, instead of just spending, you know, X dollars a day for each one of these, no matter what, it's going to find the ones that are converting best, and it's going to put more budget towards them. And so that's cool. I want it to do that, right? And so now that we know we've got these audiences that generally work, now let's kind of see how Facebook's algorithm does it. So real easy. Once again, I'm going to click duplicate. I'm going to click duplicate again. And, you know, this is like exhausting, but someone's got to do it. You know what I mean? So we got this. We're in it together. Make sure this is recording. Oh man, for a minute I thought I'd forgotten to press record. All right, cool. So have it on conversions. That's cool. And look, this is our big work here. We go from off to on. It's probably going to give us some errors. No? Really? Okay, great. I'm going to lower the daily budget from $102 down to $50. The only reason I'm doing this, lowering it to $50, is because my main man, Brad Bearden, who also just lives and breathes this stuff, he's like, dude, for whatever reason, you keep the daily budget on a CBO campaign to $50 or less, and it just works better, and when they work, you just clone them. So I'm like, all right, man, I'll give it a shot. So all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to change the name to CBO, Kablamo, and I'll hit publish. So that's thing number 2 that we've done. So step number 1 is I turned off the ad sets that weren't working. Step number 2, I duplicated the campaign, and I turned this just to CBO, which stands for Campaign Budget Optimization. So that means Facebook's algorithm is going to get a little fancy. All right. And so now, instead of making you wait 7,000 years for this thing to publish, I'll pause it. Y'all are not going to believe this. For the first time in history, some items were not published. What could it be? Who knows? We'll click on Fix Errors, ignore everything, hit Publish as per usual, and let's see if it works. I'll hit pause just in case it takes too long. Almost. All right, so miraculously that worked, which is awesome. So all I did, once again, was like, this is our second thing that we're doing to scale right here, which was I duplicated the campaign and just made it a CBO campaign with a $50 budget. So now what I want to do is I want to take the audiences that were good here, all right, I'm going to create a new campaign, which means I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to get all the audiences that gave me sales for like under 20 bucks, and I'm going to raise the budgets on them from 6 to 10 bucks. So that means I'm going to still leave this campaign alone, because you never know, these might actually end up doing better. But the ones that were not so hot, all right, I'm going to swap. I'm going to like not duplicate those. So what I'm trying to do here, and this is like one of the most redneck things ever, and I admit it, is I'm trying to find all the ones that really did not do me right. And so that would be, all right, Hootsuite, Dillard, God, Mike, I would have thought more of you. Hootsuite, Mike Dillard, and Big Buddy, SEM, and Lewis House. So there's no way I'm going to be able to remember all of that. Right, so what I'm going to do is, seriously, some of the most redneck stuff you're ever going to see in your life. Hang on, I'm going to use this app here called Sketch, but let me bring my name browser back up. This really is like impressively redneck, I gotta say. I'm proud of my heritage right now, guys. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to remember all these dudes, so I know they're like, it starts with Hootsuite. You know, so what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to take a screenshot, and I'm going to capture this. And when I duplicate this campaign, I'm going to turn off these audiences here in the screenshot thingy. So check this out. All right, this is how, like, if you're not a tech person, you just work around it. So I'm going to duplicate this whole campaign. I'm not going to mess with the audiences, because again, you know, even though the ones that gave me sales at $30-something, I'm still making money, so I'll take it. So I'm going to click duplicate. Duplicate again. Alrighty, I'm going to wait for a sec, and so I guess we're going to wait for multiple seconds. Facebook, come on, dudes. Come on. Okay, cool. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the name, which is going to be Cold Convert Books, International, Good Audiences, Big Budgets, Scaled. All right, and I'm going to switch this to Best Audiences. Okay, so that's cool. And then I'm going to come over here to these ad sets. All right, and whoops, I'm going to come right up in her, and I'm going to come over and turn off the ones that were no good. So some of them, you know, are already turned off, right? So let me get rid of this. But some of them are still on, you know. So I duplicated the whole campaign. So all the ad sets that are in the original campaign are in here, and all the ones that I left on in the original campaign are still on. But in this one where I'm going to raise the budgets, you see, I'm going to bring in my screenshot right here so I can remember who to turn off. So, Mr. Dillard, off you go. Sorry, dude. Let's see. Hootsuite, pay-per-click. Surprised that Gary V didn't give me any love in here, but whatever. So, Hootsuite, pay-per-click, Gary V, Tony. You see any of those guys? SEM, Lewis House. All right. Sweet. So, pay-per-click, off. Tony, off. Lewis, off. One was Hootsuite, off. The other was SEM. I can't believe I can remember this. Gary, and where's SEM? It's in here somewhere. Off. All right, so first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to turn these guys off, because these were the ones, remember, that they weren't really performing well. You know, our cost per book buyer was just a little bit too high. Oh, except for pay-per-click. Dang it. All right, I got to turn pay-per-click and Gary back on. See, sometimes when you redneck out, you run a risk of over rednecking. Okay, so let me find Gary and pay-per-click again. Alrighty, yeah, I thought that seemed weird. All right, so pay-per-click will turn back on, and Gary will turn back on. Gary V's audience usually does great for me. Okay, cool. So now, again, I mean, I just took the screenshot and turned off all the ones in the screenshot that were in the $30 range. Okay, so now what we gonna did, all right, is I'm gonna come to everybody who's left on, okay, make this full screen again. I'll come to everything that's left on, and let's see if I can sort by, oh man, that just blew the whole thing up, didn't it? Dang it, come on. Look at that. Facebook, what have I ever done to you? Seriously. Tell me. Why do you treat me so, Facebook? All right, here, let me pause. Because what if this happens to you? You need to know what to do. So I'm going to use the old hit refresh trick. Sometimes, like, Facebook just gets weird, you know. Okay, and I got to kill that filter. There we go. And so now it shows me this one that's the duplicate, which is hopefully in review. Where are you? Well, columns, delivery. Where'd you go? How did we end up getting rid of that thing? Well, we got all these drafts here, right? Okay, so I still have all the drafts that we created. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to publish them, and this is literally going to duplicate the entire campaign exactly like it was, and then I'm going to raise the budgets, which is kind of like a pain in the butt. So let me just see if there's a way around that. Facebook is just being super weird. So I'm just going to publish that campaign, and then I can mess with it once it's published. But we have all those ad sets. So all that's left to do is A, for me to wait 7,000 years for it to publish these, and B, once it's published, is this one it? Nope. Once it's published, then I can go back and I can raise everybody to 10 bucks. A lot of button clicking going on here. All right, I'll pause it while we wait. Cool. Okay. Man, that was so weird. So I hit publish and look, voila, it appeared. So that's pretty cool. And man, it might never happen to you, but sometimes Facebook just does weird stuff like that. So had I not been able to recover that and hit publish, I just would have had to duplicate it and rebuild it again. So it's not a big deal. But here's what I need to do. All right. So we're not done. So I need to come over her. Okay. And I'm going to switch back over here to performance, and we got them all set at $6, all right? So I'm just gonna take all these folks, I'm gonna go nuts over here, okay? Like, don't even care, crazy. And I'm gonna raise them to $10. That's right, $10, y'all. How about that? All right, so go to budget, and I'll switch this to 10, boop, boop. And I will not make you watch me paste the number 10 here a million times. There we go, and now I'll hit publish. Oh, well, come on, publish. Sweet. All right, so all I did was raise those budgets. So now what we did is we did 3 things over here. Let's see, international. Campaign name contains international. There we go. Is I killed the ones that were bad in here, right? Some of them just didn't get any sales at all, so we turned those dudes off. And then I duplicated that campaign and then just switched it to CBO and set the entire campaign budget at $50. And then I took this campaign, duplicated it, and then just the best audiences, I raised up to 10 bucks. And so that's it, right? And so our total, extra daily money we're spending, this one's going to be, I think, 120 bucks a day. This one's going to be an extra 50. So we're going up, by an extra $170 per day. But again, the dang campaign keeps being profitable. So, the hardcore marketer in me wants to be like, screw it, let's set this sucker at like $5,000 a day. But I think that would be a little bit dumb, So I'm literally just showing you how to gradually scale these with minimal risk. So if you go back and you think about where we started with this whole thing, it was nothing, right? And now we're just consistently building it to where we're making a pretty sweet little profit. And getting customers at the same time, which is always pleasant, right? So that's our step here. So we'll give it some time and we'll resume in a couple more days.